Bro, can someone please tell me why this whole entire time I thought Nigeria looked like this?
That was the last time.
But bro, I just literally saw a video of what Nigeria actually looks like. And there is no freaking way. There is just no way it looks this crazy. Let me show you guys. Bro, what? There is no freaking way, bro. Someone tell me that was fake.
I was 10 when I realized that people living in Europe and the Western world in general really had a skewed vision of what life was like in Africa. I lived in Guinea and my class took a ski trip to Switzerland. We took the plane, which I do feel I need to mention because I know some of y'all will think we went by boat. And on the day we landed, there was a mixer at our lodge with other kids from international schools. So there we are in the cafeteria and a kid from each school is randomly assigned to a table so that there are 6 to 8 kids from different schools at one table. Now, I don't know about the other tables, but they really had me seated with the nastiest and most uneducated mean girls, little Regina Georges in the making, if you will. Now I'm sitting there eating my fondue. One of them asks where I was born, so I reply with Belgium. Then she goes, oh, but you live in Africa. Then I go, yeah. And she goes, oh, so do you take the boat every weekend to go visit your family in Belgium? That wasn't even the worst part because this kid had the audacity to start asking me how I ride cheetahs to school, how we hunt for lions. Like, honey, wealthy people in Africa probably live better than you do. Like, there are high levels of inequality like anywhere else, but first of all, Africa's not a monolith, and second of all, people from the Western world really think that everyone in Africa lives in huts and hunt gazelles. Like, educate yourself.
There's this thing I realize about CNN, all these things, like all this big news, the way they like show Nigeria, the way they like talk about us, or like they only bring out that dark side of Nigeria. There are beautiful things about Nigeria, fine, but once they see you as a Nigerian, number one thing is that you're a fraudster.
I'm not a fraudster. I'm Nigerian.
Exactly.
I'm not a fraudster.
There was one story I heard about one of our students in Unilag. He studied Chinese, but normally in their year 3, they would just have to travel to China. But they said he was like rejected just by his look. His look was intimidating. So
That's discrimination. What do they mean?
Well, you are just Nigerian. Do you know how many things you have like scammed them off?
But honestly, like, one thing I can say is this fraud stereotype is actually starting to cost us more than we bargained for. And a lot of people are just being denied opportunities, are being rejected for things that they deserve. Do you get? Just because, oh, he's a Nigerian. There's this picture that has been painted that, oh, Nigerians are fraudsters.
Bro, Africa got buildings. They got power. They got towers. Swear on everything, bro. I thought it was just clay and tribes and tents, bro. Yeah, cause the ground be like, you know, like that red orange type of clay, bro. Chat, don't act like I'm stupid, bro.
When I first came to America, one thing I couldn't wrap my head around is how Americans view Africa. Like, no matter how much, the way they talked about, I couldn't believe they were being real. But bruh, being here for a couple of years, I'm just saying, I'm starting to see where they're coming from. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that right on how they view Africa, because these people genuinely think we live in huts or village houses. Like, if you tell an American you're from Africa, they'll be like, oh, so how was it in your little village or tribe? Like that. They don't believe the cities there. Anyways, that was until I saw the adverts they have on TV. When I tell you, bruh, you won't recognize your own country. I used to see adverts like, oh, help a child in Uganda for $1. You can help a starving child in Uganda. Me personally, I've never been to Uganda. So I was like, maybe that's how Uganda is. Until I was watching another ad and I felt so sorry for the kid. They have a child there. He's there pointing at his mouth for $1. You know what I mean? They make it really sad. And then at the end, I hear, help a kid in Zambia. Bruh, even I didn't recognize my own country. Where do they go to shoot those films? I've never been there. Where they filmed that, I don't know where that is. Like, did they? What? You.
So, would you like to visit Africa?
I would absolutely like to visit Africa. I will say back in the day, I did not because it was more of a commercialized thing that in Africa it was very poor.
Yes.
Most people are hungry. You always see the little kids with the belly and the flies on them. And so it was painted as a horrible place. And then as I got older, I realized like Africa is actually very beautiful. There's a lot of money in Africa and a lot of white people have found Africa before we did. So they have a lot of business over there. They're starting to try to westernize certain places. And so me as a person in America, because I don't want to say African American, but person in America needs to get on board with Africa.
Oh, this was an excellent interview.
This is a message to any black person worldwide. I think if you are going on vacation to Tulum and Cabo, that's great. But if you have an opportunity, a chance, a moment to visit Africa, Ghana, Lagos, Tanzania, Ethiopia, then you should take that chance. There's nothing like being surrounded by black people, understanding your culture, feeling welcome, feeling safe. It's nothing like what America will teach you that it is. It's something that what we learned about is it's better, it's bigger, it's beautiful, the people are kind. So I encourage you to go understand your roots, find your people, and love them the way that they would love you. Wow.